welcome back to another video and back to the Sterling Cutlass CT50. So when these first came out, probably a year and a half ago at this point, I did get one of these in and we looked at it. It was the single coil version, and you know, as things come out on YouTube and it does the rounds, it was pretty well received. You know, everyone seemed to have good things to say about it, and I agreed. But then it kind of just like disappeared. It wasn't a guitar that really kept any kind of hype going. So I wanted to kind of revisit it now I've played so many more guitars, you know, and done so much more in that of different things kind of thing, and see what my opinion on it was now. So this one came up, it's brand new, but it is a B stock guitar, and we'll get to that in a bit. But these are fairly expensive guitars, to be fair. They're around the sort of 750, 800 kind of mark. So, you know, you're looking at slightly more than a Player Series. So I just thought it'd be a good idea to revisit it and see where I stand. So let's go over some spec in case you missed the first video. I'll come in close so you can see it. So this one is the Fire Mist Silver and the HSS, as I said. You do have this sort of 2-point bridge, which is a very, very good bridge. I think these are probably one of the better 2-point style bridges you can come across on an S-Type. They work really, really well. Single volume and tone and 5-way with an auto split for this one. No push-pull or anything like that. And then on the neck, it is roasted maple, and that's 2 pieces of maple. So no skunk stripe, but you got a piece of maple on the top and then the neck. 12-inch radius and 22 frets. The profile is a little bit bigger than Fender, but still that, you know, sort of full C kind of shape, but definitely a little bit bigger, so that's something to bear in mind. And then I'll show you the headstock. Classic sort of 4x2 design, which I do quite like. I think it looks all right. And then the thumb wheel lock-in tuners there as well. I think the nut on these is plastic, but it feels plastic to me, but like a Graphtec or something like that. It's definitely not a bone nut. And like I said, this is straight out of the box. I haven't done a single thing with it. I've just unboxed it and played it. And setup wise, it's pretty good. You know, I can always get the frets better than you know, more polished, a bit more smooth, shall we say, than you kind of get them out of the box. But in terms of, you know, the setup and the general QC and everything like that, it's pretty good. There is a little bit too much relief in the neck, I've noticed, throughout filming this, which is part of the, you know, I guess you just adjust that to taste kind of thing and get it right. But I wanted to play this straight out of the box. And speaking of QC, as I say, this is a B stock guitar, and I'm going to say their QC must be pretty damn good, because the only thing, and I'm not even going to be able to show you this, I don't think, but I will try if I come out the shot. So typically it has that kind of lacquer crack that happens on so many of these type guitars, but it is microscopic. If you can see that or not, I'm not sure, but it is there. It's just super, super small. And then I think somewhere on the neck, there's a teeny tiny little ding somewhere as well. I can't even see it at this point, but there is one on there somewhere. And that's it. That was enough to make this guitar a B stock guitar. So, you know, QC wise, you've got to say, if they're making this B stock, they're obviously checking in pretty well. So I'd say that in this day and age is a good favourite with this guitar. So before we get onto the sounds then, I just want to say that HSS for me, I'm just not a fan of any kind of HSS guitar. I just don't get it. Like, for me, if you got a Fender, have 3 single coils, and then if you want an S-Type with humbuckers, just get like a Charval or an Ibanez or something with 2 humbuckers. It's just, that's my personal thing. I'm just not a huge fan of HSS. So let's see though, let's put that to one side, and let's see how this one works. So first, I'll show you the neck to the bridge humbucker, just going back and forth, so you can see like the volume. And then I'll compare the neck pickup to what I consider to be a brilliant Strat neck pickup, and then I'll compare the humbucker to what I consider to be a brilliant Les Paul-y humbucker pickup. So you heard some of the sounds that this thing makes. And if you want to hear more of the sounds, obviously I did more on the first video I did. But for me, there's the thing is, like, it's not Fendery, is it? In the single coils, it's not really a Fendery sound, and that can be taken as a good thing or a bad thing, because you either want that Fender Strat neck sound, or you don't mind something that sounds different, and that's what this is. It sounds different. It does its own thing, and I would be interested what you thought of that little comparison down below, because me, obviously, I prefer the Fender and I prefer the humbuckers in the Les Paul sort of thing, but I think that's more just my adversity to versatility, because I'm not a huge fan of something being like really versatile. I just don't really like it. I like one tool for one job, and this thing has its own voice, and it is a versatile voice sort of thing. But other than that, because that is just my objective opinion on the pickups, I still think it's a brilliantly made guitar. And the other thing that strikes me is the weight. Like, this thing, that is no effort or strain on my wrist whatsoever. It is so light. I haven't weighed it yet, but I know it's going to be under 6.5 pounds. It is super, super light, and the first one was as well. So, you know, whilst this might not be my cup of tea exactly, because I'm an old stick in the mud with these sort of things, but I still wanted to get it in, still wanted to have it on the site for, you know, for something different and a much better price than they are, you know, new elsewhere, because of those tiny little things. So I will link this guitar down below, and let me know what you thought if you've got one. Let me know how you've got on with it over time, and I will see you on another video very soon.